I've seen your stuff. You're a very positive guy. We just read out some of those stats.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on those figures that I just said?
Look, Kenny, last year was a very, very hard year. I mean, the last financial year has been very difficult. Obviously, people are, afraid of going out. We're watching consumer confidence, obviously, very low when it comes to restaurants. People are spending, they're spending less money and they're doing more takeaway. So I guess our business has shifted a lot more to takeaway than dine-in.
So that's been the focus of RASHAYS. It's like you're getting more revenue from takeaway, and that's sort of helped things along.
Absolutely. We've had to pivot our business. We were 100% dining business, and by pivoting to takeaway, that's sort of helped our business sort of stay afloat, I guess.
Well, JobKeeper has ended, of course. How are you going with recruiting again and staff numbers compared to, say, pre-pandemic levels?
Yeah, well, mate, look, we kept all our staff on. The fortunate thing is because we pivoted our business, we were able to keep our staff on. And to be quite frank with you, we've had a bit of shortage recently with staff. So less students coming into the country and all the rest of it. So it's been a challenge.
That's what I've heard as well, is that it's actually been hard to find people because of the borders being closed. So is that still going on, is it?
Absolutely, mate. So it's still quite difficult, but we're managing it. We're managing quite well.
Yeah. So, I mean, people are still interested to go to restaurants. Do you think that the fact that there is problems in getting staff, that is maybe one of the reasons is why revenue's been getting hit, or am I not reading into that correctly?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that's correct at all. I think it's just people are more staying at home. I think as a result of the lockdowns that we had early March and last year, I think people are just spending more time at home and not going out as much. I think that's been it. That's been the difference.
Yeah, Mother's Day. Now, that's really important for restaurants, isn't it? Last year, because of the pandemic, was a bit of a fizzer, right? How are we going this year? Do you know what the bookings are like, and what is it like this year?
Well, Kenny, there was no Mother's Day last year. People couldn't go out at all. So all dine-in restaurants were closed last Mother's Day. So this is the first Mother's Day we're having in a while, I guess. And look, to answer your question, it's things are after the problem that we had on Thursday night. So we had a Thursday we had the slight scare with the restrictions in New South Wales.
And we just heard today that the restrictions are extending out another week as well.
Yep.
Which how much is that impacting on you guys, particularly on such an important day like Mother's Day?
Well, what we saw 20% cancellations in bookings. So when people who have actually booked in the last 4 weeks with us, Thursday in New South Wales, our percentage dropped by 20%.
Right. Okay, so it does have a pretty significant impact when they do announce restrictions coming in, particularly on a day like today.
Absolutely, mate, absolutely. And it's the biggest day of the year for us. So in the hospitality industry, this is a day that we all rely on. There's 500,000 people who actually work today in the hospitality industry. So to have, any slight shift in people's, in what's going on out there in regards to, restrictions, it scares people and it makes people stay at home.
What's your thoughts about how they've been managing things so far in New South Wales? I mean, the federal government has been calling Gladys Berejiklian the gold standard in restrictions and that sort of thing. Do you think that they've got the balance right?
I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, what Gladys has done for us, the Dine and Discover voucher that they released and all the initiatives, we see them as a partner. Honestly, what New South Wales has done, what the New South Wales government has done, has been fantastic. We are very, very lucky and very blessed.
Those Dine and Discover vouchers, now, I mentioned to you off air that every time I go out to a restaurant or something, I forget to use it. And then 2 hours later, I get home and I say, I should have used one of the vouchers. Are you finding that there's a very strong uptake of those? Or?
Absolutely. So we went out there and we advertised it. And I think now the New South Wales government is advertising it. And today, I know the Victorian government also released the Dine and Discover vouchers. So, look, it's up to, I think, restaurants to remind people. When the customer comes to pay, make sure you remind them and ask them if they're using their Dine and Discover voucher, because you're right, people forget.
What is your hopes for the next year in terms of the hospitality industry? And I guess, where do you see things going?
Look, I'm very optimistic. I think Australia's recovering very well. We're very lucky. I mean, if you compare us to what's going on overseas and all the rest of it, look, we're in a great position. You have to be optimistic. I started the business 23 years ago. With an optimistic mind, and I'm still very optimistic about the future in the hospitality industry. I think we'll be fine.
Well said. Well, Rami, I could talk to you all day, but we're out of time. Thank you so much for coming in and chatting to us on Weekend Live this afternoon.
Thank you so much, Kenny, and happy Mother's Day to everyone out there.
Absolutely. Rami Ykmour from RASHAYS, thank you again.
Thank you.